Bitcoin looks like it's about to tank below $16,000. Let's make some money shorting Bitcoin. If you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive into some logical TA. We are on a 1 hour Bitcoin chart. The first thing we always want to look at is the momentum. Ideally, you want to have two time frame momentums pointing in the same direction. And what do we have? Well, using the trend identifier dashboard, the daily momentum is overbought, and it tells us that the upside should be limited, and the smaller 4 hour momentum is bearish, meaning it's a downtrend. The dashboard tells us consider selling. In other words, we can short the market. Or if you're taking profits, you're already long, time to take profits, but now it's looking good to short Bitcoin. What I also want to emphasize, I've just taken a screenshot of it over here, and I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can really see it, is bearish divergence. What that means is Bitcoin's price, this is on a 4 hour chart, has gone higher recently. It's called a higher high, but the momentum is going lower. This is called bearish divergence. And when you see this, it's just a sign of weakness, and you're probably going to get some type of selling follow through. So that's also in play as well. So we've got momentum saying, all right, we might have reached a high, expect some downside movement. We've also got something called an overbalance of price. This is the biggest move to the downside that we've had in one go since this whole movement to the upside. That's called an overbalance of price. And that's normally the first indication that the trend has reversed. The trend has reversed. So we've had a move to the downside, a small pullback, and we're probably going to get a follow through. So let's now just break this down a bit more depth. And by the way, if you want to get access to the trend identifier dashboard, one of the most powerful tools, I've actually programmed this myself to tell us and tell you what to consider doing based on the double time frame momentum. You can actually now trial it for £1, and then it's £9.97 thereafter. So you get to get real value. I've done a whole training course on how to use it for multiple assets, to use it as a trend filter. It also comes with some buy and sell signals, all related to momentum, because the trend is your friend. We want to ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. And right now, when it comes to Bitcoin, by the way, the link is in the description below. Test it out. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, then it's only £1, right? Test it out for a month. Is the daily is bearish or overbought. It's going to about to turn bearish, and the 4 hour is bearish. So that says, right, now, if we've got other factors that are telling us is looking like a top's being made, we want to look to short this. So now let's look at pattern position, because momentum is really powerful. You don't want to really trade against the momentum, because more often than not, it just won't play out. We want to go with the probabilities. So the momentum's down. Now let's look at pattern. Well, yesterday I did a video on Bitcoin, and we said, look, it looks like a pretty clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And markets tend to move in 5s and 3s, right? So is this an end of a wave 5? So what I want to do is just focus a minute on this section. This is called the wave 5. And does it give us any clues that this is in fact a local top and it's likely to hold, and we're probably going to get a follow through to the downside? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to zoom in to this price action. I just want to bring it in. I want to then just get rid of this line for a second. And what you want to know is markets in crowd psychology is relatively predictable. These we don't really need that much. So let's just take these price ratios off as well. Markets tend to move in 5s and 3s, but this wave 5 in itself will more often than not break down to a clean 5-wave structure. And that can give us a big clue and also an entry strategy to short the market. So what is the clue? Well, it looks like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a 5 of a potential wave C. A clue on entry is if the price goes below the wave 4 of a wave 5, if the price goes below this, that is the first early signal that this has in fact topped, and that we're probably going to get at least some type of follow through to the downside. Right, so let's just draw that onto the chart. The trading view is great. You get a free version as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can use these tools just to draw on the chart. Makes life very easy and convenient. Let's just make it smaller so it stands out from the other drawings. And let's just change the color as well, so we can see we've got different wave counts. So now it's a potential wave 5 of a 5 of a C. That's important because simply I've actually got a short order in this at the moment. We're not short currently, but the order is basically a swing low. If the price goes below this point, let's just change it to a green to represent entry. I want to be in the trade short in Bitcoin. And where do I want my stop loss? I want my stop loss here. And what I'm going to do in terms of trade management, really simply, is really, really simple. It's actually if the trade gets triggered in, like let's just say, because it could do this and then it could do this, right? If that occurs or something like this occurs, what I will then do, my first plan of action, is to move my stop loss to the new swing high. Now, it won't make me risk-free, it won't lock in profit, but what it will do is it will reduce risk. And why would I move my stop loss? And what is a stop loss? Well, stop loss is just stop me out of the position. I want to stop my losses, minimize my losses, and effectively it's my insurance position. I ask myself the question, what should the market not do if the trend is to continue to the downside? Well, if we get triggered into the trade like this, then the market should not go above this point. And if it does, it means something else is happening. So I want to be out of the trade. So it's just really, really simple to use. Well, I like to keep it simple, that should I say, because everything in life is difficult before it's easy. So it's practice. So what I want to finish on with Bitcoin is just zoom out and just look at the macro. Just look at the macro picture of what is the trade expectations as a minimum and as the maximum. So I always use 2 units, right, to lock in some early profits and then let the rest of the trend ride out to lock in some larger profits. So let's just zoom out. All right, zoom out. I'm going to keep it on a 1-hour chart. Just going to zoom out a bit. These targets won't actually hit, so we can actually get rid of those. And I just want to zoom out a bit more here. This is what I want to look at from this context here. Right, so we're really going to get a nice viewpoint of what's likely to occur. And remember, by the way, the trend dashboard, £1, 30 days. I'm telling you, £1 for 30 days. Check it out. At least test it out. Double time for momentum is such a powerful tool. One of the things I love about it is it's very objective and mechanical, because in trading, there's a lot of moving parts and you have to make decisions. But the trend identifier, what you can do is bake it into your current strategy and only take on trades that meet the minimum requirements when it comes to trend identification. And again, we cover it in a lot of depth and you get a lot of training in this as well. £1, 30 days is a no-brainer. And again, we've updated a few things now. So let me actually just show you this. So just so you're clear, what you're able to do is you're able to change the time frames. So if you trade on a weekly, daily, hourly 15, you can decide, you can change that. If you're a bit more advanced, you can actually change the settings as well. And then you've also got multiple assets. So you can just have it showing at the bottom as I do with one. But if you want multiple showing, like if you want to look at Ethereum and Solana and XRP at the same time, what you can do is you just switch them on and they show like this, right? So you can look at multiple assets at the same time. It's very cool. We're putting a lot of value and a lot of work into this. So you'll be foolish not to take advantage of it. So just test it out, £1 and enjoy it. Enjoy it and let it help you. But do practice because it's very, very powerful. You have to, just learn how to use it, right? But I'll give you the training as well. So, okay, let's just finish on high level with Bitcoin. What my trade thesis is with this, I'm trying to grab this ABC. I'm trying to grab this here. If I can, yeah, here we go. All right, so the basic is we got a 5-wave move to the downside. We've got some type of A, B, C correction. Remember, markets tend to move in 5s and 3s. What tends to happen after a 3-wave correction? Well, it tends to be a continuation of the former trend, right? So that's why anticipating that Bitcoin is likely to go below $16,000. Yeah, not guaranteed. You can never guarantee these things. No one knows what's going to happen, but we can project with high probability. So the way we're going to be managing this trade is I look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a more minor degree wave count. As a minimum, I expect the price to hit at least 50% retracement. So at this point here, I want to become risk-free. And then I want to be in the trade for what's called a 100% alternate price projection. In other words, I'm just going to show you this because it's really, really powerful. We measure this move to the downside and we project it from here and we project the exact same distance to the downside. And more often than not, That's the minimum price that will get reached. If the trend takes off to the downside, this will be a nice target for us. We're talking about a $15,000 Bitcoin, and it might overextend. If it overextends, even better in terms of for the short position. I'm a fan of crypto, Web3, Bitcoin, etc. But look, the market's going to do what the market's going to do, and we're here to make money trading the markets. So let's just do this. Do it relatively fast. Measure wave that moved to the downside, project it from here. And by the way, if you want to learn how to do this, because it's not easy at the beginning, drawing these price projections, counting the waves, I've also got a 4 Secrets Masterclass, how to trade the markets. I use double time frame momentum, pattern, price, and time. That's the 4 secrets, but I covered them in a bit more depth. This is free, and it's basically the gateway into my courses, my community, and everything else. It's the secret number one is why I created the dashboard, by the way. It makes it easy to apply double time frame momentum. But there you have it. So again, summary of Bitcoin. Again, move to the downside, 5-wave movement. It looks like an ABC flat because this high was not exceeded over here. And it looks like, because of the momentum on the dashboard, if this low gets broken, we're probably going to get a follow through, and we're probably going to get a follow through. And this, what is it, $15,000 is likely. But how much are we going to risk? Well, we're going to risk 2% to find out if we're right. If we're right, great. If we're wrong, we lose 2%, or we're probably going to adjust our stop loss to there, and we'll lose 0.4%. But if we're right, let's just do the quick risk reward. Just for indicative purposes, let's just look at this and go, okay, if our stop loss is here, I'm just get it as accurate as I can, and the entry price is here. And if it does get to this 100%, it's called an alternate price projection, that's an 8 times risk reward. 8 times is pretty significant. 8 times means if you've got 10 grand and you're risking $200, it means you're making $1,600. If you've got 100 grand and you're risking $2,000 to find out if you're right, then in essence, you're making 8 times, which is $16,000, which is 16%. Okay, you're probably going to make down half of the position, which will be 8%. And then the other half, you'll probably make 2-3%. So 10% in one trade is phenomenal, because if you can do that consistently, that's amazing. The other thing to take into consideration with this, in terms of risk, because a lot of people forget to do trade management, risk management. I'm laughing because I used to be like that at the early days of trading, right? Just focus on the profits. Actually, we want capital preservation. So what we're going to do, and this is how you should be thinking, right? Let's just say the market plays out and we go, okay, let's say we got this move there. Let's just say Bitcoin does this, right? And then enters us into the trade. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to move my stop loss to here. So let's say we've got 100 grand in our account and we're risking 2 grand. We're effectively going to reduce our risk by almost half, give or take, right? So we're risking $1,000 now to make potentially $10,000, $16,000, right? That's the whole art and the science of this. As soon as the trade reaches this point over here, this zone over here, well, I'm expecting that the price should not overlap back into this range. It should not do this. So then it's pretty logical for me to move my stop loss to what's called break even. So my entry point, or just beyond my entry point. So now I'm guaranteed risk-free or a small amount of profit. Now I make, potentially going to make 10, 16% on one trade on the whole account size. But very quickly, if it plays out like this, I'll be risk-free. That means I don't need to worry if I get stopped out or whatnot, because it'll be risk-free, and then I can live to fight another day. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Hopefully that makes sense. That's relatively high level, but check out the trend identifier, £1, 30 days. I'll take your trading to the next level. I've created a lot of training for it as well. So you know how to use it, how to set it up, how to get into your trading view, whether you got the free version, whether you got the paid version, and there's different ways you can use it based on your particular trade strategies. Let's finish with a quote from my book. We're going to go with, I'm going to chapter 5. Yeah, we're going to chapter 5 today. Leonardo da Vinci, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Keep it simple, my friends. Momentum, pattern price, and then learn how to do time analysis, and that's it. When the probability stacks up, we take the trade. It's never going to be guaranteed. Therefore, we only risk 2% to find out if we're right. If we're right, we manage our risk, reduce our risk, and let the trend ride. Take profits, have a trade plan, have a business plan, execute that plan consistently, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat on over 100 trades, over 500 trades over a period of time. You should be doing incredibly well.